So Edson makes three different styles of pedestal guards. They're all 9.5 inches between pipe centers. So the center line to center line of the pipes is 9.5 inches. The height of the guard is 58 inches. The tube diameter is 1.125" on all Edson guards since about the early 2000s. This is the straight guard, as you can see from the profile. So it goes straight up and down from the pedestal all the way down to the cockpit sole. Our next one is an angled guard, where it's got an 18-degree angular bend to it, which moves the top of the pedestal guard about 6 inches further forward. It allows you to mount an instrument right here so that it looks up at you when you're steering. Your instrument is pointed up towards your eyeballs a little bit more, so you're not doing, kind of leaning back to read your instrument. So this one has been quite popular for that reason. Then we do an offset guard with two 45-degree bends and about a 6.5-inch difference between the center line of the guard, between the legs at the pedestal and the cockpit sole versus where the pipe is at the very top. This allows you to put an array of instruments, again, across here, and then another set down here, so that the lower set is looking up at you, and the upper set of instruments are more in your sight line. Typically, what we recommend is that if you are going to be buying a guard to put instruments on it, that you leave the top of the guard as a handhold. You want your guard to be the good solid handhold in the cockpit, and you want it grabbed first. You don't want people grabbing for instruments. So this is meant to try and protect your instruments from people falling in the cockpit, slipping, or whatever. They want to be able to grab the guard pipe and hold on. So again, all 1.25 inch, they're all 1.125" diameter. They're all 58 inches high, but you can get them with an offset bend, an angular bend, or straight. So that choice is up to you. They all come with a guard top plate, and they come with pedestal guard feet as well. Now these feet are universal, so they will fit. If you've got an older pedestal with plastic guard feet, you can switch them out to a stainless steel guard foot, and this guard foot's designed to accommodate the older 1-inch diameter guards. You take this sleeve out, and you can accommodate an 1.125" guard, and you take both sleeves out, and you can accommodate an 1.25" guard pipe. So there's the sleeve remaining for an 1.125". We take that out, and it's now up to, it'll take an 1.25" guard. There are set screws right here in order to hold the guard in position when it's bolted down. These studs are designed to, and this whole foot is in fact designed to be an exact replacement for the plastic guard feet that Edson used from the early 80s up until the turn of the century. So we designed this one so that it would be totally interchangeable. This one also comes with a gasket so that you can eliminate some of the bedding compounds you might have to use, and therefore also have to clean up in a non-skid pattern on your deck, which is always difficult. So we've tried to make the job easier with a gasket. These are 1/4-20 studs, so they use a 1/4-20 nut and a lock washer down through the cockpit sole. If you're changing guard feet out, make sure that you check the core material in your cockpit sole, and if your guard feet are going through balsa core, you might want to check them, and you might want to consider putting some epoxy on that balsa core to seal it really well before you do this installation. Okay, that'll help protect your balsa core going forward. The other part that comes with the pedestal guard is the guard top plate. Now we have two different size pedestals. We have one that fits a 5-inch compass and therefore measures 6 7/8 on the compass, or on the OD of the top of the pedestal, and that pedestal size works perfectly for a 5-inch compass card. We also have a larger size pedestal which the top of the pedestal bowl is 8 inches in diameter, and basically will accommodate a compass with a 6-inch guard. Again, all Edson guard pipes have and always will be, I think for quite some time, 9.5 inches between pipe centers. We think that that's a very good width. It allows you to move around the cockpit and things of that nature. And so if you've got a 9.5 inch wide guard, you probably have an Edson guard on there. If you have a 12.5 inch wide guard, you probably potentially do not have an Edson steering system on there. But all of this equipment should retrofit, because the bolt hole spacing for the top plate is exactly the same from one compass manufacturer and one steering manufacturer to another. They all use this bolt hole pattern, and so it's all interchangeable. Should be interchangeable quite easily. Always good to check though before you buy. You can see when you put the smaller top plate on top of the larger top plate, you can see that there's just, there's about a 1 inch difference in the overall diameter between the two. So here's an Edson pedestal. Every one of these guards can come with a sidebound single lever engine control. If you want to upgrade your engine controls as part of this process, it's a good time to do it. Your engine control cables run down through this leg. Your instrument wires would run up this side, and basically it'll free up the top of the pedestal. Now, when you're doing an installation, if you've got an existing boat, and say in the late 70s, 80s, 90s, you might have a control on there which is going to look like this, with the speed on one side and the clutch on the other side. When you do your installation sequence, the first part that goes down is the guard top plate, then the engine control goes down, and then the compass goes on top of the engine control. Now, we do treat the bolts with a mil-spec coating to retard the interaction between stainless and aluminum, but I would highly recommend that you use a product called Tef Gel whenever you're putting a stainless steel bolt into aluminum. They don't like each other. You add salt, and the aluminum starts to corrode, the paint starts to bubble, and it goes downhill from there. You try and take these bolts out, 5 years down the road so that you can service your pedestal, which I might add you should be doing annually. You want to be, if you put Tef Gel on there, those bolts will come in and out of there easily every year, and it's really good stuff. We carry it, but it's not something that we don't make it here, but let's put it this way, I don't endorse a lot of products, but I do endorse the ones I use on my own boat continually, day in and day out, and Tef Gel is one of those. So stainless steel fasteners going to aluminum, Tef Gel is your answer. Okay?